I am Johnny Massacre, and welcome to my world. May your stay here be interesting. Tonight, Donald Trump has bombed Iran with bunker busters. Yes, America has officially gotten involved with the Israel-Iran conflict. Who is with me? Give me a hell yeah! So America is now involved with Iran versus Israel. Trump said the US military struck 3 sites in Iran, joining Israel's efforts to destroy Iran's nuclear program. Trump declared now is the time for peace. Here is Donald Trump's post on Truth Social. Donald Trump said, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to the matter." So, huge news blowing up all over the internet. America used B-52 bombers to bomb key Iranian nuclear sites, including full payload of bombs on the primary site, containing 300 feet deep at least, the core of Iran's nuclear program. Here was Donald Trump's official announcement, flanked by Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio, in Trump's special address to the nation, immediately following America's strikes on key Iranian nuclear facilities. Here comes the Trumpster and co.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue.
Why does this remind me of a twisted episode of Twin Peaks? Anyways, keep going, Trump.
I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if people
He's talking about FAFO. So that's the nuclear enrichment program that Israel couldn't hit with their own rockets. Trump says it's been taken out. That means that America actually did use the MOP bunker buster bombs, which drill into the ground, super heavy, hard outer shell, and explode the deepest penetration of any missile known to man. So this actually happened. They used the bunker buster. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but if Trump is saying there that they have taken out FAFO, then they did use the bunker buster.
peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So there was Donald Trump's official address from the White House, giving us an update on America's official involvement in the Iran-Israel war. So, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu came out and he also gave an address to the nation where he thanked the Trumpster and America for helping them take out Iran's key military facilities. Here is Benjamin Netanyahu.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States.
You targeted the nuclear facilities. Come on, hit them with the wild blueberry bunker buster. You can do it. Come on, do it. Why does he sound like Arnold? That makes him sound even better. Let's go, Benjamin.
Will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed.
You could say, in other words, that America crushed their enemies. It saw them driven before you and heard the lamentation of the Iranian Muslim authoritarian regime.
It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record.
So what he's saying there is that America actually used the massive ordnance penetrator, the MOP bomb. It's basically a ridiculously heavy bomb with a very huge outer shell that drills into the ground and explodes up to 200 to 300 feet beneath the Earth's crust. And no one has this bomb. China don't have it. No one has it. Musk doesn't even have it, bruv. As I said before, it hasn't been officially announced, but Benjamin Netanyahu there again tacitly admitting that America did use this superior technology. Boom! Let's go.
That President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Mate, America, they sent that massive ordnance penetrator, MOP, big boy Barry bomb into the tunnel, and they took out Iran's key nuclear facilities. Iran has already retaliated. Here is a scene from within Tel Aviv as Iranian missiles struck in retaliation. So you're seeing a tit for tat now. There's some footage of that online. There isn't a lot of footage of the bombing of Iranian nuclear facilities or of the missiles from Iran hitting Israel. Obviously, Iran's military forces have been massively blunted in the last week, what with Israel taking out with consummate ease most of their facilities, military facilities. But nevertheless, Iran did get a few missiles through in retaliation, and that happened within the last few hours. So there's no real money shot of this massive ordnance penetrated bomb or of Israeli rockets hitting Israel yet, but that will surely be coming out in the hours that follow. However, there is a little bit of footage online that I found. I have been scouring the internet so you don't have to, of America taking out some of the key targets. So here's some footage from Fox News of Iranian nuclear sites being struck with B-52 bombers. Bruv.
Those U.S. B-2 bombers tonight. Also Isfahan, as well as Natanz. Natanz had another underground facility. Remember, before Fordo was built in 2006, Natanz had been the main enrichment site. It was also built underground. Israeli jets had been targeting it in the last week, but they had not been able to penetrate underground. So those U.S. B-2 bombers, which flew out of Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, they would have taken out that underground facility. Natanz is in.
So Iran did actually make a statement, and that has come within the last 30 minutes. So this is breaking news, Massacre mates. Iran came out and said this, according to the Associated Press. The US has itself launched a dangerous war against Iran. And that came after the United States attacked 3 nuclear sites in the Islamic Republic. Iran also said that they reserve its right to resist with full force against the United States and Israel. So there will be a press conference tomorrow, I believe, which will be Sunday for you, my American friends, headed by Pete Hegseth. And that will be at the Pentagon. And there, I assume, they will confirm the massive ordnance penetrator bomb had been used, and maybe you'll get a bit of footage as well. So that's the biggest news from today. America joined the Israel-Iran war and helped taking out Iran's key nuclear facilities, including Fordo, which previously no one had been able to take out due to lacking the technology required to reach those depths. I am Johnny Massacre, and if you're just joining us, we're discussing America joining the Israeli-Iranian war. But if you have been watching from the beginning, then stop your grinning and drop your linen, donate some cash, and let's keep winning. Streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre. The more you donate, the more of me you are going to get. Please consider becoming a member tonight. Just click the $ near the live chat box or near the comment section, and you can become a member now. If you become a member, you get access to members only live streams, which is the real deep cut of Johnny Massacre's world, deeper than a massive ordnance penetrator can reach, bruv. There it will just be me doing some work, just doing what I've got to do that average people wouldn't want to see, but superior Massacre mates like you might be interested in. No one can get into those live streams. Also, there's plenty of live streams where only members can comment, and you can access text to speech, much like this. Or much not like that.
Gary Von Mabach says, hey Johnny, hell yeah.
Hello.
Chris Campbell says, is this real? Very disappointing. Gary Von Mabach says, hey Massacre mates. Pocket Fluff says, hi yo everyone. Chris Campbell says, he didn't thank the American taxpayer. Pocket Fluff says he does sound slightly Austrian there.
Come
Gary
on.
Von Mabach says, peace through strength. Pocket Fluff says, goodbye Gary Von Mabach, it's me Victoria BTW, just changed my username. Gary Von Mabach says, Victoria. Pocket Fluff says ditto.
If you become a member, you can also vote on the content of the next stream and video. Later tonight, at the end of this video, you will be automatically redirected to our live Sunday Gaming Bonanza stream, where members can vote on what game we will play. The current games that are up for vote are Elden Ring Night Reign, Silent Hill 2 on the Sony PlayStation 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, depending on where you are born, Europe, UK, or America, respectively. and Revenge of Shinobi, also on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. You can vote now if you look at the posts on Johnny Massacre's World's YouTube channel, which you are watching right now. If you can hear this voice and you can see me, are you out there? So please consider becoming a member today. It only costs about $3 for the minimum membership, and it will just lock you in to the relentless barrage of live streams that I'm now dedicated to giving you now that we are re-monetized. I love you very much, people who follow this channel, and I appreciate you. So, what is next? What is next for Iran, America, and Israel? So the world is obviously waiting to see what Iran's response is going to be. As I said, literally in the last hour, Iran responded with a strike of their own. Of course, they were always going to do that. The supreme leader of Iran had a chance to stop the BS, stop the war with Israel, and he doubled down on it in recent comments on social media. And so these authoritarians are going to just bring their country to destruction regardless of what the situation is. So I'm not surprised that Iran retaliated. The question now is Iran going to go after US military assets in the area? Because there's quite a lot surrounding Iran. America have directly entered this war. If Iran does strike American assets, then you're going to see America potentially trying to start a regime change in Iran, in my opinion. The American assets surrounding Iran, according to Grok, include Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, which is located approximately 500 miles from Iran's coast. It's the largest US military base in the Middle East, and it hosts 10,000 of America's troops. God bless you all out there. You also have Al Assad Air Base in Iraq, which is roughly 150 miles west of Baghdad and about 400 miles from Iran's border. And this base has been targeted before, according to Grok, notably in January 2020, when Iran launched 16 ballistic missiles in retaliation for the US killing of Qasem Soleimani. There are also bases in Bahrain, and there's something known as the Tant Garrison in Syria, and there are naval assets in the Persian Gulf. And so you could see Iran target any one of these, and if that does happen, America will have to become more involved in this war. So there was talk a lot recently about how there wouldn't be any regime change, but there's just too many signs of regime change here for me to ignore. Don't want to get conspiratorial, but let's just assess what might happen if Iran does strike any of these American assets. I have to remind you that Iran's oil assets, both realized and unrealized, rank among the world's largest. Iran ranks third globally with 208 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves as of 2024, behind only Venezuela and Saudi Arabia, accounting for 12% of global reserves and 24% of Middle East reserves. Recently, there was a regime change in Syria, and you'd have to think America was behind that, at least in part, wouldn't you say? And that means, because Assad was taken out, now Iran can't get weapons and supply Hezbollah. So it looks like all the pieces are aligning suspiciously smoothly. And if there can be some kind of a regime change in Iran, that would give America unfettered access to a lot of oil.
Zlen Omega says, yo Johnny.
So you might, I'm guessing there's probably going to be some kind of attempt at a regime change. What's up, Zien Omega? How you doing? We gifted you a free membership recently. I actually paid for that, so I hope you're enjoying that, my friend. You are able to vote on the next game for the live stream coming tonight. Please check it out on the post page. So stay tuned to see how Iran responds. They've already bombed Tel Aviv, and they might be hitting American assets. If they do hit American assets, that will be a pretext for regime change in Iran, or at least for America to escalate. I mean, you saw America tried to instigate a regime change in Iraq, and that took a long time. It's still very unstable. They unsuccessfully attempted that in Afghanistan. So it's very hard to do a regime change. Japan is one of the best examples. America managed to do that, but that was with the threat of nukes. And I guess the best way to do this is to leverage the will of the people. I'm reading Sun Tzu, and he says the best fighters win and then go into battle. The losers go into battle seeking to win. And essentially, you do as little work as possible to win without a shot fired. So if the will of the people in Iran is to get rid of the oppressive regime that forces women to wear hijabs and somehow manages to squander the third richest oil reserves in the world, so they still can't be a military force after 20 years, then that would be best for America. Some kind of revolution within Iran. Going back to what it was like in the 70s before 1979, where it was kind of free and looked like kind of a decent country. What do you think is going to happen? How do you think Iran's going to respond? Do you think Iran will hit American assets? And do you think America wants a regime change, regardless of how it's going to be achieved? This could get really, really messy. There could end up being loads of refugees which just come to our countries like they have been doing from Afghanistan and Syria and all these places where America got involved before. But Trumpster, who talks about peace through strength and prides himself on being a peaceful president, this was started by Iran through their proxies and Hamas after all. I don't think Trump is going to do this if it's going to destabilize massively. And I think he anticipates that at the very least, it's just going to take out the nuclear capabilities Iran spent decades building up, and so gives America more time and essentially hobbles Iran in terms of nuclear capabilities forever. America can just do it again and again when they start building it up, or at the most can create a regime change which will lower oil prices and give America a key ally in the middle of a very hostile territory. So please consider donating if you enjoyed this episode. You know those donations go a very, very long way indeed. You can donate via the links to the right of my head, or you can donate by super chatting and whatnot via the special kind of currency sign near the live chat. So that's Johnny Massacre's World today, bruv. Episode 806 or 807, I believe. Coming up to 1,000 episodes thick and fast. I hope you enjoyed it. So now I'm going to chill with you for a bit. And then I'm going to go out and go for a run, bruv. How are you lot doing? Talk to me, talk to me. It's very early in America, I think. It's got to be 2 or 3 a.m. Thank you, Zien Omega, for your message. Hope you're enjoying the membership. Massive news. Sometimes news is so big that you know exactly what to do on your YouTube show. There's no umming and ahhing or delay. You just go straight into that news piece. This is massive. This is big. Very, very, very big.
DAT says greetings. Mark L says holard. He's back.
Mariah Carey Type Dangerous is a wicked song. So I see someone in the comments who said Mariah Carey Type Dangerous. Mariah Carey, that was my babe who I fancied when I was growing up. I'm 42 now. So like back in my day, there were a few babes like Jennifer Aniston and Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey was in her peak. She was so hot. She used to do these sexy magazine covers for these men's magazines. And so I've always fancied Mariah Carey. Always. I don't care what anyone says. And she just released a song. She's gone off the radar for ages musically, and she released a song called Type Dangerous, and I put it on because she used to be my crush growing up. The song is fucking good. So Mariah Carey's actually back with Type Dangerous. Jacoby in the comments, all caps, saying the song. Are you one of the lambs? Mariah fans. So yeah, Mariah Carey's new song is fucking superb. It's brilliant. It's got a great chorus. I'm not sure who produced it. It's really good. Gary Von Burback in the comments says it's 1 a.m. here. Ooh. The late hour, burning the midnight oil. I know you drink your coffee late.
The Suffering or the Punisher, all free on Vim's Lair.
What's up, Mira?
Mira D80 says my recommendations.
Hello, Mira. How are you? Mira, you are a member, right? Oh, you're not a member. You're not a member. See, if you're a member, you can vote for the game. It's on the post now on the page. Brittany Elder says 3:53 a.m. to be specific. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I see you, Mark L. How you doing? So, mate, I've been on a mad journey. You do not understand what I've been doing. It's been absolutely cuckoo, crackerjack, apple crumble, crazy, bruv. It has been, oh my freaking god, like the last, this week, you don't even know. This week has been absolutely insane. Absolutely. One of the craziest weeks of my life. I'm noticing this fucked up thing about myself where the things I enjoy the most is putting myself into hell and extreme pressure and adversity and coming through it. Nothing else really makes me tick. And that was this week. That was this week. But we're still here and we're winning. So what can I say, bro? Yeah, no more cigars. I mean, there will be cigars in the future, but like not now, bruv. Yeah, none of that. Had to stop that for a little bit. I had to stop that. Mariah Carey, type dangerous. Oh yeah, baby. Pocket Fluff, I see you there. I see you, girl, in the comments. I want to hear what you lot are up to.
Mirror D80 says, Johnny Massacre's world, the cheapest is $5 the next tier is $8 a month. What's the difference, Johnny? Ajay says, hi Johnny.
Hello Ajay, how are you? So the difference is the $8 tier is you get text to speech, and the $5 tier is you just get regular chat, which will appear in that box.
Tiny Grail Fall of Avalon at the moment.
That's the difference. So I'm trying to work out how it's well, no, it's actually not that. I can do it. It's not complicated.
Tainted.
Yeah, so the lowest tier means your comment will appear there, and then slightly more is you get text to speech. I think that's kind of fair. I mean, it feels a little bit loot boxy. Like the tech is there for both, and technically it doesn't cost any more to give you one over the other. But I need to offer. But if you're gonna, the value of being able to have your voice heard is definitely worth it.
Cleaning and organizing everything, lol.
Nice, Pocket Fluff. Nice. Zien's playing Tainted Grail 4 of Avalon. I misread it. I thought it said, oh, Tannied Grail 4. What is that, mate? What is that? Oh, Lord. So we have 16 concurrent viewers. Hello, everyone. What's your take on the Iran war?
Had a bit of anxiety yesterday. It's better today after some sleep.
Ajay, mate, you and me both. That is the key. That's the key to anxiety, is getting a long sleep. It really is. Glad you're feeling better, my friends. Glad.
Ajay says, how you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing good. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So yeah, I'm trying to get this 6-pack by July the 1st. Might delay it till July the 8th, a week later, but it should be just about okay. And I agreed with the AI that look, if it's not there by then, we just scale back and we don't take an L. Like, we look way better, but it's, you know, there's nothing more we could do. So AI gave me this mad exercise schedule of Monday 1800 calories, Tuesday no food, Wednesday no food, Thursday 1800 calories, Friday no food, Saturday no food, Sunday no food, Monday 400 calories, Tuesday, Wednesday no food, Thursday 1800, Friday, Saturday, Sunday no food, all the while doing 1 hour hard runs, 2 hour hard runs, 72 hours fasted, savage gyms, 100 kilogram bench press sessions twice a week and more. It's obviously impossible. But if you're some kind of weird maniac, it might be doable.
He says, what tier is the voting at?
The voting's at any tier, Mirror. Can you see the post now for the voting for tonight's game? And so I found my limit, and now I understand what happens when UFC fighters cut dramatically to lose weight and to make weight. And recently a UFC fighter pulled out right before the match because they couldn't function because they were too...
He had one. I saw the evidence. You got this.
One what? Okay, thank you so much, Pocket Fluff. And so I understand what it's like. This is against the backdrop of keto and like very low carbs, and actually it wasn't even just low carbs. AI was saying no carbs and not even a clove of garlic. It went extreme. So what happened was it all got really serious with a 72-hour fast. So I ate, this is 2 weeks ago, ate on Thursday, and the next time I ate was Sunday night. And Sunday, I was so carbohydrate and glycogen depleted and so like calorie depleted. it was hard to walk around. I was stumbling.
In my case, my anxiety was connected to a person being unreasonable to me on stream. At one point she wanted my help, and then didn't want help and lashed her anger on me and other viewers.
I mean, you know, you can't control what other people do. Yeah, you have to accept that.
He says, will super chats be text to speech? Ajay says, Victoria in the house.
Good question. So like, I wish I could, I will read out the super chat, but I have no technology to make a super chat into text to speech. But if whatever you do on the super chat, I will write it on the stream and then it will become text to speech basically. But whatever you super chat now will be text to speech anyways, because you're a moderator, so that still gets text to speech, but that's all going to change later after a month. Like some people's text to speech will be removed.
Pocket Fluff says, Ajay.
Pocket Fluff, you've got to become a member because I don't want your text to speech to end. I don't want it to end. So I remember that Sunday after 72 hours of fast running and walking around, and it felt like I was staggering. I was literally staggering around, but I was saying focus, focus, focus. Did that 2-hour run. Felt like the beast of beasts. It was really hard. And then after that, I did another 2-hour run on Wednesday, which is like 3 days later. It's almost unheard of in my schedule. And started to become quite good at running. But then with that mad schedule, I just told you, where most days was 0 calories, that's where it all went wrong. So and in between this was mad stuff. Like I remember waking up on a Monday quite late and then staying up for 36 hours plus to try to reset my sleep schedule, just doing all kinds of mad things. And in between it, I was drinking so much coffee and smoking cigars as appetite suppressants to force it through.
I never try to control what people do, but it's not my responsibility if the person can't control his or her emotions.
Exactly. And so AI was saying, yeah, like drink coffee if it helps and smoke cigars if it helps, just to try to do this schedule. It's just insane, right? And so it got to the point this week, shit got kind of serious. So last week I attempted this 0 calorie no eating on 5 days, and I basically couldn't. So on no eating days, which was Friday and Saturday, I had 1,800 calories instead, which is still a massive deficit. But AI is like trying to really push it as far as possible to get the 6-pack and get me over the line and guarantee it. And after that, we locked in for kind of hell week. So I did a 2-hour run this Monday, fasted, and also Sunday was fasted. And I wasn't supposed to eat on Monday, 48 hours after fast. I was absolutely wrecked. So I ate some chicken. I think I had, I don't know, like 1,500 calories, which is still like way below deficit, way below maintenance, and still a massive deficit. So after 48 hours fasted, it got to Tuesday, and I was supposed to do 0 calories Tuesday and Wednesday. This is where things got serious. So I was on the stream Tuesday, and I was so glycogen depleted, which absolutely destroys you. No sugar, no carbs in your system, and also calorie depleted. I experienced what it was like for a UFC fighter who was cutting too much. And I was drinking the coffee and smoking a cigar, and you get to the point where the drugs don't work. The appetite suppressant, it helped before, but I was so calorie depleted and glycogen depleted, even the coffee and cigar didn't help, and it just made it worse. And when you're fasted and you do a stimulant like that, it hits your central nervous system like a massive ordnance penetrator bomb dropped by the Trumpster, Orange Emperor. Absolutely annihilated me Tuesday night. My hand was on the keyboard, and I found it so difficult to lift my arm. It felt like my hands would just, I can't even explain it, but had no energy, was slumped here. Oh, Mirror D80 became a Massacre mate. Big up, mate. Welcome to the club. Man, big spender, 2nd tier, locks in the text to speech. Thank you so much, Mirror D80s. So what happened was Tuesday, it got kind of serious. I had never felt that calorie depleted in my life, or glycogen depleted. And I've done some mad fasts. And I started thinking, like, it's not dangerous, but this really isn't good. So I desperately started stacking carbs. on what was supposed to be a 0-calorie day, I ended up overeating a lot. I had 3,600 calories, and it should have been 1,800. That's my deficit. If I do 1,800 every day, I'll lose a kilogram of weight a week. That's like pretty extreme. That's my baseline. Ate 3,600, and then the next day, and I ate like carbs that I hardly ever eat. I had some rice balls, onigiri, had some like sweet potato. It didn't help. So the next day, Wednesday, I was still completely wrecked. I started to get worried, thinking like, fuck, I've taken this diet too far. So on Wednesday, I had 5,200 calories. Supposed to be 0, 1,800 max, 5,200, loads of carbs. Thursday, I was still screwed. So I had, in trying to get this six-pack by July the 1st, I'd taken it too far, and then I'd gone way over. And so Thursday evening, I had the 1,800, which is kind of normal. It's my baseline for losing a kilogram a week. It was pure protein, just a kilogram plus of shredded chicken breast. That's finally made me get to a state where I felt a little bit better, like 3 days after this mad crash. But even then on Friday, I still felt kind of bad, but a little bit better. So now, in the quest for the six-pack, I had yo-yoed the other way, and I had such a massive calorie surplus for the week. So now it's Friday. I said to AI, what do I have to do to still lose a kilogram by Monday? It said, Friday, don't eat. Saturday, don't eat. And basically Sunday, don't eat, which is today. And you need to do 2 2-hour runs and a massive heavy gym. Okay, so Friday, did the 2-hour run. No, I walked around town all day for 4 or 5, 6 hours in the sun. Went to the gym, did a heavy, brutal gym, 100 kilogram bench press times 30, loads of stuff. Went back through rush hour, then forced myself to do a 2-hour run into the night, caffeinated to help me, and nearly injured myself. This is after a 2-hour run on Monday, by the way. Got back, slept. Friday went out, Saturday went out, this is yesterday. Friday went out. And next day went out. Worked like all day, then slept like an hour, and then woke up and did a ton of work, and then had to work again the next day. So I was up for like 34 hours. It was absolutely mental. And now it's today, Sunday. All I have to do is 1 2-hour run, and I'll hit my deficit for the week. And I'll lose a kilogram. So I looked at the scale, and I'm basically where I was last week. I went massively over calories in the beginning of the week due to this ridiculous UFC style cut. And I went up by like 4 or 5 calories. And now today, after this ridiculous fasting, ridiculous training, I've gone all the way down and like lost 4 or 5 kilograms in water weight and glycogen. Bro. The maddest part was being awake for 34, 35, 36 hours, sleeping like an hour in the middle, and like working both days. Bro, I did some work yesterday. I only slept an hour. Had to go out do some work, like meet some clients and stuff. Fasted after all of it. It was insane. It was completely insane. So here we are. It has been absolutely bonkers, bruv. And I've done a 2-hour run on a 72-hour fast before. I'm in the same spot. I don't feel optimum, but I feel better than last time. And now I think this hell is going to end because I can start eating carbs again. I'm going to reintroduce from tomorrow evening. And yeah, I took it to such extreme depths that now just a regular diet of 1,000 calories every day under my maintenance level will seem easy by comparison. And I'm not going to have to cut much more weight, which is the hardest part. I'm just going to eat calories to maintain what I've got. It was always going to be hell trying to get to the six-pack, but then after that, it was always going to be, by comparison, kind of awesome. Just eating the baseline calories every day. So yeah, it's been freaking mad. Thursday just felt crazy. That felt mad. Like going out 5 or 6 hours working, hitting the gym, smashing the gym, coming home and then doing a 2-hour run into the night on my own, running just running parallel to this highway. And but if I get caffeinated, I get loads of adrenaline and it kind of dulls the pain. But I've got so much experience running, I kind of know when there's like the adrenaline is masking the injury. So I was running, I could feel my calf like a little dull ache, and the old me would have gone, nah, that's nothing, just keep going. But the experienced me said, bro, you need to focus on your form, because if that goes out the window, you're going to injure yourself. And the last 10 minutes of that 2-hour run, my calf was so sore. And then honestly, the next day, Friday and Saturday, my whole body was wrecked. And I have to fit in another 2-hour run this week. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do this without injuring myself? After the 34 hours of basically being awake with a 1-hour sleep in between, I woke up I went to sleep at about 10:40 p.m. Woke up at about 1:40 in the morning today, feeling awful. And I wasn't sure if I could sleep again. And I said to AI, like, what should I do? Should I just get the run out the way now? It said, no, you'll injure yourself. It said, eat some cucumbers or whatever, just to get some satiety. How do you pronounce that? To satiate yourself and try to go back to sleep. And I did that and it worked. I slept for another 10 hours, so probably 13 in total. Woke up and calves kind of feel all right. It's been mental. Hey, Ren Putt in the comments says, this sounds horrible. What do you think of keto? So I'm pretty in touch with keto now. And here's the thing. You hear people talk about how I don't eat any carbs and I'm on this carnivore diet, but then most people are actually lying. So Joe Rogan, he says, oh, now I'm mostly on keto. Like all I eat is elk and blood. He's lying. He's straight up lying. He's not just eating meat. He's definitely eating some trace carbs, whether it's something as kind of keto friendly as like a cauliflower or broccoli or aubergine. They still have some carbs. None of these people are just eating meat. I've attempted this multiple times over the last 6 or 7 years, just eating meat. If you do that and do the kind of training, even touch upon the training that Joe Rogan does, like kickboxing, anaerobic exercise, heavy weightlifting, it's unsustainable. After around 2 weeks, 3 or 4, your body will start to shut down if you're doing anaerobic training with no carbs at all. And even if you have about 50 grams of carbs a day or less, if you're doing that kind of training, eventually you become so glycogen depleted, you start, as we say in the UK, bonking. That also is slang for something else. You start bonking and your body doesn't have the fuel for the job required and it feels awful. Like your biceps feel kind of, the only way I can describe it is light and airy, and you feel this feeling, you have this feeling in your lungs and aerobic system and your legs and calves. You've got no energy and you're walking around like a zombie. It's horrible. So I don't believe any of these people who say I'm only eating meat. Jordan B. Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson, said she does the lion diet. It's only meat. It's BS. And if you are doing that, you're basically not training. And if you're not training, that is worse than not training. And doing a good diet is worse than training and doing a bad diet, basically. So that's also not good. I think the way to do it is, do periods of fasting and low carbs. Don't like kill yourself doing it like a UFC fighter. And when you eat carbs, just make sure it's not refined carbohydrates. It's not crisp. It's not potato chips. It's not donuts. It's none of these things. It's not bread. It's something like a sweet potato as like the most carb heavy thing, or some fruit. And keep it low glycemic. Low glycemic means that food doesn't spike your blood sugar. When your blood sugar spikes, a lot of that sugar is retained as fat. If you have low glycemic food that doesn't spike your blood sugar, those carbohydrates will be converted into fat at a lower rate. And so when you do eat carbs, just keep it low glycemic. Low glycemic fruit is blueberries, strawberries, most berries, and grapefruit. and things like that. And if you want to go a little bit heavier, go for a sweet potato, but it's still low glycemic compared to a proper potato, bruv, or you know, some other kind of thing. So I think the best way to do keto is about 50. Have some days where there's none at all, just go for the meat. That's when maximum fat burning occurs. And then top up with low glycemic food when you feel you need it, such as berries, and at the max like sweet potato. And then you've got all the basic vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli, which have some trace carbs, garlic. And if you can, if you're a beast, do aerobic exercise, which is basically running lower heart rate stuff. And that will help shred the fat even more. And the absolute like best piece of advice is, if you want to do a keto diet, in my experience, is you have to change your body's source of energy from carbohydrates to fat, which means becoming fat adapted. And that occurs when you have so little carbohydrates over a certain period. And unfortunately, if you've been eating a lot of carbs for a long time, it can take quite a long time for your body to get the energy from fat as opposed to those carbs. Before, it would take me 2 weeks of no carbs to switch from carbs to fat adaptation. But now, this time, I think it took me about 6 to 7, 8 weeks for my body to finally just start getting all of its energy from fat and just shredding the fat as opposed to carbohydrates. And I know that because when I try to do a long run, sometimes I can't even run for like 2 minutes. My body gives up. That's when you're at the bridge of changing your body's energy source from carbs to fat. You can't do this aerobic long distance fat burning running when it's switching over. But once it does, even when you're really hungry and feel terrible, your body, you can just do these long runs and you can feel the energies coming from the fat. And if you're fat adapted and you're fasted and you're doing like long distance running, which is lengthy aerobic exercise, it's like the holy trinity of shredding. Your body's already taking energy from fat. It's fasted, so it's taking even more energy from fat. And you're doing like the exact type of exercise that pushes fat burning. Those three things, like keto, like fat adaptation, and like long aerobic exercise, you're just keto and like fasting and long aerobic exercise, those three together is absolute shreddies. So you can imagine when I'm 72 hours fasted and fat adapted and doing a 2-hour run, my body's just like shredding fat. There have been some dark days, man. There have been some mad. This has been absolute craziness, and I fantasize about the day where I can just eat like a normal person and have the odd beer, maybe have a bit of champers like once every couple of months, without ever getting any bloat and just keeping the six-pack. I wonder if it's even possible. But anyways, we'll celebrate once, if and when we have the six-pack. If I don't have it by July the 8th, I'm just going to stop and be satisfied with the fact that I stopped eating sweets, basically. So, yeah, it's been mental. Hayren Part in the comments says, doesn't excess protein become carbs? I don't know. It could do. You would... I don't know. Hayren Part says, I did carnivore for maybe 8 months, but wasn't training other than biking. But biking is aerobic exercise, so that would be perfect. Are you new here, Hayren? RJ says, I look forward to your Sunday night in Tokyo gaming session. That's coming, bruv. That's coming.
Ajay says, Johnny, what's your favorite part of chicken? Chicken
and says,
breasts.
Doesn't excess protein become carbs? I don't know.
Ajay says,
it could do.
Mirror in the house.
You would...
Mirror D80
I don't know.
says, greetings Ajay, hope you're having a
Hayren
great
Part
day,
says, I did
mate.
carnivore for
Mirror
maybe 8
D80
months,
says,
but wasn't
had my
training
nephew
other than
sleep over
biking.
my
But
house,
biking is
pretty
aerobic
hectic, lots of
exercise, so that
Minecraft
would
and
be
Fortnite.
perfect. I don't know where my voice is coming from.
Likewise.
RJ says, I look forward to your Sunday
Does the
night in
AI tell
Tokyo
you to
gaming
sleep
session.
1 hour
That's
or
coming, bro.
something? I'm confused. Hiram
That's
Pert
coming.
says this sounds horrible. What do you think of keto? Johnny, Hiram
What's
Pert
your
says
favorite
doesn't
part of
excess
chicken?
Doesn't excess protein become carbs? I don't know. It could do. You would... I don't know. Hayren Part says, I did carnivore for maybe 8 months, but wasn't training other than biking. But biking is aerobic exercise, so that would be perfect. Bear with me. Where my voice is coming from.
Likewise.
RJ says, I look forward to your Sunday night in Tokyo gaming session.
1 hour or
That's coming, bro.
something? I'm confused. Hiram
That's
Pert
coming.
says this sounds horrible. What do you think of Cato? Johnny. Hiram Pert says doesn't access
Doesn't excess protein become carbs? I don't know. It could be. I don't know. Hiram Pert says I did carnivore for maybe 8 months but wasn't training other than biking. But biking is aerobic exercise, so that would be perfect. Bear with me. Where my voice is coming from.
Likewise.
AJ says I look forward to your Sunday night in Tokyo gaming session.
1 hour
That's
or
coming, bro.
something? I'm confused. Hiram Pert says this sounds horrible. What do you think of Cato? Johnny. Hiram Pert says doesn't access
doesn't excess protein become carbs? I don't know. It could be. I don't know. Hiram Pert says I did carnivore for maybe 8 months but wasn't training other than biking. But biking is aerobic exercise, so that would. I found it. So that was a there was a stream open and I collapsed the browser window and it went down the bottom of my screen and it was paused and it decided to unpause and play all that stuff. So sometimes random chaotic things occur in Johnny Massacre's world, but we extinguish them like a massive ordnance penetrator dropped from Trump, bruv. Okay, so you can comment again without it going mad. Hiram Pert. I think I've seen you before, Hiram Pert. Yeah, busting up your ears there. So I'm kind of curious to see what, if anyone voted, if any members voted for the game tonight. Once again, I'm going to remind you the games we've got on the menu. Gary Von Mervack's enjoying the chaos.
I'm healed now.
Healing you. Okay. Cool. Oh, look. We've got a few votes already, which is quite nice. So look, this is the membership tab where only members can vote. So we've got posts. And look, we've got all the videos like live and stuff like that.
Fluff says confusing my ear holes.
Mate, you know you like a good ear hole smashing. Look, this is membership only.
Mirror D80 says got a bunch of easy platinums going for the LV600 on PSN. May share a screenshot of my profile on Discord, Johnny.
Do it, my man.
D80 says I voted.
The poll's still going, Ajay.
I missed the poll.
Ajay, you got to become a member. I'm the big boy Barry tier. That's funny. I guess the owner of the channel becomes the top tier immediately. So look, this is the poll. Members only vote. What game should we play today on Sunday? Stream starts 6 AM PST, 22nd of June. Elden Ring Night Rain, 25%. Silent Hill 2, 50%. Sonic 3, 25%. So I kind of do want to play Silent Hill because I want some riddles. Ajay. Let's activate Ajay's tisms. Ajay, are there good riddles and puzzles in Silent Hill 2 on the same the same caliber as Silent Hill 1? Let Mirrors a member. The Suffering, Silent Hill 2 and 3, and The Punisher, all free on Vim's layer. Hint, hint. Please use our PC SX2 emulator. It is fantastic.
Says never got the poll. Mirror D80 says Silent Hill 2 is a banger.
Gary, can you not see it? There should be a post you can vote on. By the way, Mirror, you're creating a serious conflict with Ajay because you didn't recommend Duck Station, but then again, that's PS1 and not PS2. So I think I have PCSX emulator. I'm pretty sure. Is that what it is? That's PCSX2. Yeah, I do have it, and that's what I think we are using. I'm pretty sure that's what we're using. Because that one has enhancements, right, for PS2 games, I seem to remember. Which I'm all about. Yeah, no, it's Ether SX2. Is that what it is? That is what it is, right?
Ajay says, Johnny, yes. Silent Hill 2 has lots of puzzles.
Sign me up to that.
Also more challenging on harder difficulties.
Sign me up to that. Mr. Von Merback, I'll give you the link for the poll to vote, since you're a valued member. Here's the link to vote if you want to vote. Gaza. You can vote there, my man. So yeah, it's been mad. So you kill yourself to try to lose weight, but you kill yourself so much, then you yo-yo the other way and have to compensate for going too far in your pursuit of losing weight. And then you might go the other way. You might end up putting on more weight than you intended to lose because you failed too much. So I had to try to counterbalance like the overeating, which I did from undereating, with more undereating. Just about survived it. And all the time I'm drilling AI with questions saying, how many calories do I need to burn? So how much should I eat and how much training should I do to still lose 1 kilogram by Monday? Crazy. Is that not what I have though, Mira? It says I have. No, I do have that. I've got 2 emulators. It says PC SX2 and then above that is Ether SX2. I don't know the difference, but I've already got it in there, bruv. I got Dodon Patchy, Gradius 5, Grand Theft Auto.
Hiram says, Mr. Beast's latest video was on weightless and was pretty good.
Fucking hell, bruv. And my left bicep's gotten so small, it's like atrophied. The right's always been bigger. But yeah, no, it's like crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Hiram
says cool, nice.
Why don't you become a member, mate? Less than $5 a month, and you're going to get special members-only streams. Only you can join, and chats that only you can participate in. And you can vote on the next game tonight.
Says, you know one of the best sites to get the ROMs?
It's quite naughty, though, isn't it? It's a naughty conversation. Are we allowed to? Are we allowed to talk about that? You can tell me on the Discord, mate. You can tell me on the Discord. Oh, that's what it is. I see. What's the back door, though? What do you mean about that?
Mirror D80 says backdoor script.
It's weird how a little bit can go a long way. So during this 72-hour fast, when I slept after being awake for about 34 hours, 36 hours with only 1 hour sleep in between, in the middle somewhere, I woke up, as I said, after 3 hours, and I shouldn't be awake. Like, my body's exhausted and can't move, but my brain was kind of awake. And part of the reason for that was I was so hungry. My body was saying, you need something. So AI said, okay, you can have like max 250 grams of chicken. So that's only 800 calories. So I ate that and it put me straight back to sleep. I slept for another 10, 11 hours. My body must have absorbed it like a sponge. But total calories, it didn't go over for my target. That made a huge difference. And speaking of that 1 hour sleep, I had to do some work and I couldn't sleep. And I had to do some last minute work. I wasn't planning to do it. So I was just up all night working on other things, fueled on caffeine. And then suddenly I had to go do some work and I couldn't get to sleep before doing work. I had to meet some clients, as I said. And I went outside into the sun. It was just, I felt like a zombie coming out of it's coming out of the ground. Then had a hot shower and had a bit of cucumber, which is basically hardly any calories at all, 0 carbs. And that just let me sleep an hour. And that was just about got me over the line. It just about allowed me to do what I needed to do. So just a little bit of food sometimes, just a little bit of sleep. Sometimes it can be all you need. A hot shower or just do... I'm trying to find all these life hacks to make it work. Where are you in the world, Hayram? Where are you? I actually stream at all different times. So sometimes this time, sometimes much later. What time is it for you now? If you let me know, I will let you know. I stream all around the clock, bro. No Mountain Dew though.
Says caffeinated MNT Dew lol.
So I'm gonna do this 2 hour run, and it's gonna be. I've got to be careful and sensible. Don't want to injure myself, but I feel quietly confident. But that's a mad week of exercise. That is a serious week of exercise. And like,
Bird says, speaking of sleep, I have work in the morning, so I've got to go. Thank you for the stream though, and will hopefully catch you again.
thank you, mate. Yeah, please come back soon. Much love to you and take care. Good luck at work. Hope it goes smoothly. Let's make it good. New Zealand.
Johnny, make sure you finish Elden Ring Nitrin and then finish Bloodborne. Hirampert says,
Yeah.
I'm in New Zealand.
Ah, so you're usually free. It's 8 o'clock. Dude, sometimes I'll definitely stream earlier than this. Yeah, maybe 4 hours at maybe 4 p.m. your time, and anything up until 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 10 hours after that. Anything up until 6 a.m. your time. Actually, that's like heaven spot leading into that. Have a good one, mate. Yeah, Chris Campbell's also in New Zealand. Fellow Massacre, mate.
Mirror D80 says, unlike me, my parent got back from France and was so packed I couldn't gym for a week or so.
Brutal. The other mad thing I've noticed is how much you can make your weight fluctuate by doing keto. So when you do zero carb, your body flushes out all of the glycogen and all the water in your body and muscles. The amount of water weight you carry is fucking mental.
Play some Steam games, then go for Duck Station.
Mate, where's Ajay? Where's the emoji for Duck Station? Ajay, look what I'm gonna give you. Look what I'm gonna do, bruv. How to do the emoji? I guess you just do it here. Ajay, look in the comments. So, a few times now, I've gained and lost 5 kilograms in 3 or 4 days, but it's not fat. It's a little bit that, but it's mainly to do with glycogen and cortisol and water weight. So when you do keto, your body like flushes out all the water and glycogen in your muscles. You can see now I look gaunt. It's because I'm doing the keto.
Mirror
I can't wait, Mirror.
The upgrade from Silent Hill 1 to 2 is massive both graphically and story.
Dark Station emoji.
It's coming soon next week
All
when
good.
I have my salary.
All good, mate. All
I'm
good.
broke at the moment.
Sorry, I wanted to gift you one, but I couldn't choose. Yeah, so for example, I'll go on the scale on Tuesday. That's when I really had the crash after the gym session on Tuesday, and I had all this caloric nonsense leading into today. I weighed 81.8 kilograms, and then after the caloric overfeed the next day, or that day and the next day, I went up from 81.8 kilograms to something like, what was it? Like 87.1 kilograms. So, how much is that? 81, 82, 83, 84, 82, 83, 84, 85, 80. I basically put on 5 kilograms. And I looked, my stomach was like a little ball and just looked a bit puffy. And then fucking fasting, doing all this madness. And now I've gone back to where I was before in the space of 3 days. 3 or 4 days. And that's happened before. It's mad. When I went to the gym on Friday, when I had gained all this water weight again, I was doing pull-ups and it was way harder because I'm pulling up like the extra water.
To SH1 story. Mirror D80 says HTTPS. Enhanced ton of Silenthil.com SH2.
The HD upgrade? What's that though? Is that going to be on the emulator that I've got? I do have that one you mentioned. Is there any clonking? Because do you remember there was a clonk stick in Silent Hill 1 and it was the Texas abortion?
Mirror D80 says, yup, Ajay, you know Silent Hill well.
Do you remember that? There has to be a clonker in the game for me to fully get immersed into it. Is there a clonk? Is there going to be a clonk? What I should really do now is a members only stream to watch the stream back, because that's only members who will be into that stuff. I love having the membership again because that means I can do streams like that and it will be worth it only to a few people and edit and clip and stuff like that. Plenty of clonking. Is there a clonking weapon though?
Yeah, plenty of.
Is there actually hold on a minute, Mira. Is there a real clonk stick though? I'm talking a weapon that would be worthy of the word clonk. That's the question. Silent Hill 2 is getting most of the votes. A few, more than one.
He says a few lol.
Sign me up, bruv. Okay. Mira, cool. I'm glad you remember. Official Massacre mate. So, all right, I'm gonna duck out now. I'm gonna gear myself up for this 2-hour run.
The one later is my fave.
Wicked. Can't wait. So, whatever game gets voted in tonight, we're gonna play. It looks like it's Silent Hill, and I'm quite hype about that. So, much love to you all. Take care. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you later on tonight. Yeah. For some Sunday gaming.
Johnny, SH3 connects to SH1 though.
We will get there. See you later on, everybody. Cheers.